Hello there, people of the internet. My name is the Pessimist, and it's time for another episode. Let's begin. Hello again. Today's topic is the changing of generations. Now, today we're on the cusp of a vast new world. Technology has changed so much in the last 20 years. Think of how vastly different it'll be in another 10, 5, and then think to yourself, if it keeps up like this, how will it look in 50 years? And along with this change comes the changing of generations. Every 40 or so years, we have teachers retiring, bringing in their replacements. Every 25 to 30, we have a new batch of politicians, new presidents, new senators, ambassadors, etc., etc., etc. Now, with the new generations, and by that I mean pretty much anyone born after the year 1885, or 1985. Oh, there's a gap for you. But yes, after 1985, we grew up without knowing what it was like not to have the technology. And as such, our mindset, our morals, are vastly different than those from, well, I hate to say it, but those who came before the modern technological revolution. Now, they had it in their own generations, to be sure, but not to as vast a degree as ours. But the thing we have to remember is, they grew up with the experience of the previous generation in addition to our own. Now that's where it gets interesting. Every generation gains and loses things from the previous generation. The previous generation tries to pass on its morals, its sound judgments, its experiences, and the new generation loses the ones that seem to not quite fit into today's societies and situations. For example, we don't exactly hold on to nearly as many of the sexist policies of the 1700s as one extreme example. However, even from the 60s, we've downgraded on some of the more, shall we say, chivalrous actions, as another example. But now we're talking. I say every 25 to 30 years the politicians change. But it's closer to every 5, because they have their own generations and sub-generations. This is where it gets interesting. We're talking about everyone here. Simple managers from your local grocery store, all the way to the next Security Council, to the Vice President, to the UN. In every country across the world, we've reached that point. Sure, every year we have kids turning 20, 25, 30, but it's when the major groups spike. At least here in the US anyway, I've noticed that many of the people are around 20 to 25, and in variables of 5 years. It just tends to work out that way from what I've noticed. Sorry about that. Now we're coming into these situations with a new mindset, a new set of morals, and they're very quickly going to change. Life is all about change. Many fear this. Many look forward to it. However, it's certainly going to be interesting to see where it goes. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying the world is having a bit of crisis right now. Now, I'm not going to say it's world-shattering, but we certainly have the ability to. The politicians are busy debating on what wars to fight, what weapons to use. And the people, they're growing up in their own mindsets of the cultures. Now, many governments like to keep their image favorable. And the way we do that is by dehumanizing others. And propaganda has become a lot more influencing in the last 40 years, which is to say the last 2 generations, including ours. So along with these many factors, this great time of change, we're going to have to keep our eyes on the people, on the world, and on the actions of all. Now, I don't know whether it will change for better or for worse, but the next 20 to 30 years, hell, even the next 10, you should definitely be prepared to watch. Because great things are going to happen. Whether for great good or for great bad, I don't know. Anyway, that's today's food for thought. I hope you find it interesting. If you have another topic or anything you'd like me to discuss, feel free to leave a comment. I'll try to get to it, but I'm just one guy sitting behind a camera, and this is both part-time and kind of a hobby. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed yourselves, and you take care of yourselves now.